Hello, little dreamers. Thanks for joining us again at Nighty Night Stories. Tonight's story is about a curious little bunny named Nola who can't fall asleep until a tiny wish turns into a magical journey through the stars. So snuggle in, close your eyes, and let the story carry you. Nola's Nest of Wishes. In a quiet meadow where the grass swayed like lullabies and fireflies blinked like stars, lived a little bunny named Nola. Nola had the softest fur, the floppiest ears, and a tiny nose that wiggled when she was curious, which was almost always. But tonight, Nola wasn't sleepy. She had tucked into her little nest of leaves and fluff. She had counted beetles, listened to the breeze, even tried snuggling extra tight. Still, no sleep. "I think I need something more magical," she whispered. So Nola sat up and with careful paws reached for her wish jar. It was a tiny glass jar she kept near her pillow, filled with dandelion seeds, the kind that fly when you blow on them. "Just one wish," she said softly. She picked a single seed, held it to her nose, and whispered, "I wish for a dream where I can fly." She closed her eyes, and the wind answered. Suddenly, Nola was floating above the meadow. Her ears flapped like wings, and she soared past sleeping owls and twinkling stars. The moon gave her a quiet nod. She giggled and did a twirl. She flew over clouds shaped like carrots. She danced with butterflies made of light. And as her wish slowly drifted back toward the earth, so did she. She landed gently back in her nest, curled into a warm ball, and this time her eyes closed right away. Because sometimes all it takes is a small wish and a very big imagination. Even the smallest wishes can lead to the sweetest dreams. Thanks for listening, little dreamers. If you loved Nola's magical night, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss another cozy bedtime story here at Nighty Night Stories. Sleep tight, and may your dreams be full of little wishes that take you far. Mila and the Moon Dinosaur. Mila was a little girl with wild curly hair and socks that never matched. Every night she would stand at her bedroom window, look up at the moon, and whisper, "I wonder if someone lives up there." One night, just as she snuggled into bed, a strange sound rumbled outside. Boom, thump, boom, thump. She peeked through the curtains. There, in her backyard, stood a dinosaur, but not just any dinosaur. He was tall, gentle, and glowing with soft silver light, like he was made of moonlight. "Hello," Mila whispered. "Hello," the dinosaur said in a voice like the wind. "I'm called Nib. I walk the stars when the world sleeps." Mila's eyes sparkled. "Are you from the moon?" He nodded. "I visit dreamers who believe in things that don't make sense, like dinosaurs on rooftops." Nib bent down, and Mila climbed onto his back. With a shimmer of stardust, they floated into the sky. They soared above her neighborhood, over oceans, past clouds, and all the way to the moon. Up there, they bounced between craters, slid down moon dunes, and played tag with glowing comets. Mila laughed so hard she forgot she was supposed to be dreaming. But soon, the stars blinked sleepily, and the earth yawned below. "I have to go," Mila said. Nib nodded, his glowing eyes kind. You'll remember, won't you? Always. And just like that, Mila was back in bed, moon dust on her socks and a starlight smile on her face. She didn't know if it was real, but she always left her window open just in case. Magic finds those who believe with their hearts, even when their eyes are closed. The story is about a little dragon who just wants to play football with the other kids. But there's one big problem. He's allergic to grass. Can he find a way to join the fun without the sneezes and sniffles? Get comfy, snuggle into your blanket, and let's find out together in tonight's tale, Finn and the Flying Football. Finn and the Flying Football Kanda. In the cozy village of Boulderbrook, nestled between misty mountains and bubbling brooks, lived a young dragon named Finn. Finn wasn't a fierce dragon. He didn't roar or breathe fire just for fun. No, Finn loved playing football more than anything else. His tiny wings buzzed with excitement every time he saw the neighborhood boys kick a ball across the village green. There was just one big problem. Finn had a grass allergy. Every time he stepped on the field, echo! His tail curled, his nose turned red, and he sneezed so hard he once knocked over a goalpost. The other boys liked Finn, but it was hard to play when the ball kept flying into the trees with every sneeze. "Sorry, Finn," one of them said kindly. "Maybe next time?" Finn walked home, tail dragging behind him, eyes watery, and not just from the sneezing. That night, he sat with his grandpa Ember by the fireplace. "Why can't I just be normal?" Finn sighed. Grandpa chuckled. "Who wants to be normal when you're extraordinary? But I can't play football," Finn sniffed. "That's all I want." "Then make a way," Grandpa said. "Use your strengths, not your weaknesses." The next morning, Finn had an idea. He gathered his friends and said, "Let's build a football field in the sky." Everyone blinked. "In the sky?" Finn flapped his little wings. "We can hang nets between the tallest trees, use soft floating clouds for the pitch, and I'll make a ball that flies." So they built it together. The kids used vines and bark to craft the goalposts. The ball was filled with light air and stitched from dragon scale leaves. And guess what? No grass, no sneezing, just pure, soaring football fun. They called it Skyball. Finn zoomed, kicked, looped, and cheered like never before. Even the older dragons flew down to watch. "You turned your problem into something amazing," said one of the boys. Finn grinned. "I guess I don't need the ground when I've got the sky." And that, dreamers, was Finn and the Flying Football. Remember, just because something doesn't go your way doesn't mean it's the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of something even more magical. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss another adventure from Nighty Night Stories. Sleep well, dream big, and keep soaring high.
This tale is about a sleepy little owl who thinks he's not brave enough until the night sky proves he already is. Ollie the Owl and the Star That Fell. In a quiet forest, where trees whispered lullabies and crickets hummed like tiny violins, lived a little owl named Ollie. Ollie had big round eyes, soft gray feathers, and a habit of hiding under his wing whenever he got nervous, which, honestly, was a lot. He was the smallest owl in his family, and the quietest, and the most unsure. "I'll never be as brave as you," he sighed to his big sister one night as they sat on a branch under the stars. But just then, something amazing happened. A bright, glowing star streaked across the sky and fell. It didn't crash loudly. It whispered, like wind chimes in the air. Ollie blinked. "Did you see that?" "I did," his sister said. eyes wide. It landed near the moonflower meadow. All the forest animals whispered in awe. A falling star, right here. But no one dared go see it. Too dark, too far, too scary. Ollie's heart beat fast. His feathers ruffled. But something inside him, something tiny and brave, spoke up. I'll go. His sister gasped. You? Ollie nodded, even though his legs wobbled. So he flew. Through dark branches, over sleepy deer, past glowing mushrooms and rustling leaves, until he reached a soft field of moonflowers. And there, gently glowing on the grass, was the fallen star. It wasn't hot. It wasn't scary. It was small, quiet, and beautiful. Just like Ollie. Were you scared? Asked the star softly. Ollie blinked. A little. The star shimmered. That means you were brave. Ollie smiled, and when he flew home with a tiny bit of stardust on his feathers, the forest didn't whisper about the star anymore. They whispered about Ollie the brave. Bravery isn't loud or big. Sometimes, it's just flying through the dark when you're scared, but you do it anyway. And that was Ollie the owl and the star that fell. Sammy the sleepy snail. In a garden full of whispers and moonlight lived a very small snail named Sammy. Sammy wasn't in a hurry, ever. While the bees buzzed, the butterflies fluttered, and the grasshoppers leapt from leaf to leaf, Sammy would glide softly along the garden path. Come on, Sammy, the ladybugs laughed. You'll never see the whole garden at that speed. But Sammy would smile and say, I see everything just fine. And he did. He saw the glowworms blinking gently under the leaves. He saw the tiny dew pearls that sparkled on petals. And he heard the soft hum the flowers made when the wind passed through them. One night, when the moon hung low and round like a pearl in the sky, Sammy felt something special. Tonight was his favorite kind of night, quiet, cool, and made just for dreaming. He slowly slid onto his favorite petal, a soft, curled tulip just his size, tucked into his shell, and looked up at the stars. As he closed his eyes, he whispered, Thank you, garden. Thank you, moon. I'll dream of flowers that sing in clouds made of spoonfuls of cream. And just like that, Sammy fell asleep. The crickets played their lullaby, the flowers gently swayed, and even the busy bees buzzed more softly than usual. Because when Sammy the sleepy snail sleeps, the whole garden sleeps with him. You don't need to move fast to see the beauty in the world. Just move gently and take your time.
Tonight's story is about a quiet little turtle who wishes he could move just a little faster until one day he discovers that slow can be powerful too. So snuggle in and enjoy tonight's tale, Timothy and the River Race. Timothy was a turtle who lived beside a winding, sparkling river. He loved to watch the water ripple past and the dragonflies zip above it. But more than anything, Timothy wished he could move like the river. Fast, free, fearless. The other animals in the forest liked Timothy, but they giggled when he tried to race them. Come on, Timothy, laughed a rabbit once. You'll still be at the starting line when we're at the finish. Timothy smiled politely, but deep down he wished he could prove he wasn't just slow, he was steady. One day, the forest held its yearly riverbank race, where animals zoomed along the river's edge, racing to the ancient oak tree and back. Timothy signed up. Some gasped, others giggled, but Timothy didn't mind. When the race began, the cheetahs dashed, the squirrels zipped, and the birds darted ahead. Timothy plodded, step by careful step. He passed fallen branches. He waved to frogs. He even stopped to help a duckling tangled in reeds. One by one, the other racers got tired, tripped, or lost their way. And Timothy? He just kept going. Hours later, just as the sun touched the treetops, Timothy crossed the finish line. Not first, but not last either. And when the animals saw who had helped the duckling, who stayed steady, who never gave up, they cheered the loudest for Timothy. Sometimes, going slow gets you somewhere even more important, respected. And that was Timothy and the River Race. We hope you remember that you don't have to be fast to be amazing, just steady, kind, and true to yourself. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell.
This story is about a lamp, but not just any lamp. This one doesn't light rooms. It lights wishes. The last wishing lamp. In the quiet village of Willowmere, where the streets smelled of cinnamon and old books, there was a dusty little shop that sold forgotten things. And on one forgotten shelf, under cobwebs and sleepy shadows, sat a tiny brass lamp. It didn't shine, it didn't sparkle, but it listened. Every night, when the shop closed and the world went still, the lamp whispered into the dark, "Is there anyone who needs a wish?" For many years, there wasn't, until one rainy evening, a girl named Elsie stepped inside. She was small, soaked, and quiet, but her eyes held a wish so big, it nearly burst. "I just want my cat, Luna, to come home," she whispered. The shopkeeper chuckled gently. "Then maybe, ask the lamp." Elsie walked over and placed both hands on it. "I wish for my best friend to find her way back." The lamp grew warm. A tiny flicker lit inside. And outside, the rain stopped. Back at Elsie's window, something meowed. She ran home, tears in her eyes, and found Luna curled up on her bed like she'd never left. The next morning, the lamp sat quietly again, still dusty, still waiting, and when the sun set, it whispered once more, "Is there anyone who needs a wish?" Even forgotten things can hold great magic, when someone believes. And that was the last wishing lamp, a reminder that no wish is ever too small and no light is ever truly gone.
Tonight's story is about a dinosaur with the biggest dream of all. He doesn't just want to roar or stomp. He wants to fly to the moon. So get snuggled up, close your eyes, and let's lift off into tonight's magical adventure. Dan the Dinosaur's Moon Mission. A very, very long time ago, longer than 100 bedtimes ago, there lived a small, curious dinosaur named Dan. While the other dinosaurs played tail tag or had contests to see who could roar the loudest, Dan liked to lie on his back and look at the stars. One day, he said, "I'm going to visit the moon." The other dinosaurs laughed. "You can't go to the moon. You don't even have wings. You're made for stomping, not soaring." But Dan didn't listen. He believed. So Dan started collecting things. Big shiny stones, fallen palm leaves, even an old volcano helmet he found in a cave. He built a giant spaceship, sort of. It was made of sticks, vines, and imagination. He called it the Moon Jumper. Every day, Dan worked on his ship. He painted stars on the sides and placed his favorite pillow inside. One day, a small bird flew down and asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm flying to the moon," Dan replied. The bird tilted its head. "You might need a little help." So the bird brought its friends. They tied balloons, blew gusts of wind with their wings, and soon the moon jumper began to rise. Dan's eyes grew wide. The clouds drifted below him. The stars got closer. And then there it was, the moon. He didn't stomp. He didn't roar. He danced in zero gravity. And when he came back down, all the other dinosaurs were speechless. "Next time," Dan said with a grin, "I'll take passengers." If someone says, "Your dream is impossible," smile and build it anyway. And that was Dan the Dinosaur's Moon Mission. What a wonderful reminder that even the biggest dreams can take flight with a little imagination and a lot of heart.
Tonight's story is about a little hedgehog who thinks he's too small to make a difference until he proves that even the tiniest heart can be the bravest of all. So snuggle up, close your eyes, and enjoy tonight's tale. Hugo and the Stormy Forest. In the middle of the great green forest lived a little hedgehog named Hugo. Now, Hugo wasn't big. He wasn't loud. And he definitely wasn't fast. But he was curious and very kind. All the animals liked Hugo. He listened more than he talked. He shared his berries. And when someone was feeling sad, Hugo always made them a warm cup of honeyleaf tea. But deep down, Hugo wished he could be brave, like the foxes and eagles. One stormy night, as lightning crackled and rain poured down, a loud cry echoed through the woods. "Help! Someone help!" Hugo peeked out from his burrow. The wind howled. Trees swayed. He was scared, but he followed the voice anyway. Under a broken branch, trapped by a fallen vine, was a young rabbit, shivering in the rain. "Hold on!" Hugo called. "I'm coming!" He didn't have big claws or strong paws, but Hugo used his tiny teeth to chew the vine. Bit by bit. Snap! The rabbit was free. "Thank you," the rabbit cried. "I didn't think anyone would come." Hugo smiled, shivering. Even small feet can run into a storm. He led the rabbit back to his burrow, wrapped her in leaves, and made her a warm cup of honeyleaf tea. The next morning, when the sun peeked out, the forest whispered his name. Hugo the Brave. And from that day on, Hugo never doubted the size of his heart again. Bravery isn't about size, it's about showing up when it matters most. And that was Hugo and the stormy forest. If you ever feel small, just remember you can still be someone's hero. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss another magical bedtime adventure from Nighty Night Stories. Sleep well, dream big, and be brave, no matter your size. We're so happy to have you here for another magical bedtime adventure. Tonight's story is about a brave kangaroo who loses her foot, but gains something even more amazing, a friend who helps her in a very special way. It's a tale about courage, compassion, and a little bit of science magic. So snuggle up, get cozy, and let's hop into tonight's story. Kara's New Bounce. Once upon a time, in the sun-baked plains of Australia, there lived a kind kangaroo named Kara. She was strong, fast, and had the biggest heart in her mob. But one stormy night, Kara got caught in a flash flood. She escaped, but lost one of her back feet in the accident. From that day on, Kara hopped with a limp. It was hard to balance, hard to forage. But Kara stayed strong, especially because there was someone else who needed her. Her tiny Joey, Kip. Kip was full of energy, always bouncing, always needing hugs. Kara tried her best, but it was exhausting with only one strong foot. Then one day, a curious voice called out from behind a gum tree. "Are you okay?" It was Emmy, a brilliant young girl with a backpack full of tools and a heart full of kindness. "You lost your foot," Emmy said gently. "But maybe we can build you a new one." Kara blinked. "A new one?" Emmy smiled. "A robotic foot. I've never made one for a kangaroo before, but I'd love to try." So every day after school, Emmy worked on Kara's new leg, measuring, sketching, tinkering. And Kara stood patiently, sometimes letting Kip chew on bolts and bounce in toolboxes. Finally, after many tries, click. The new foot was ready. "Try it," Emmy said, eyes sparkling. Kara took a cautious hop. Then another. And then, boing! She soared into the air. "I can bounce again," she cried. Kip squeaked in joy, hopping beside his mama. And Emmy, she just smiled, wiping grease from her cheek. "Now you're truly unstoppable." Kindness and creativity can help others do what they thought was impossible. And that was Kara's new bounce. Isn't it amazing how even one act of kindness, mixed with a little imagination, can change someone's life?
Tonight's story is a little different. It's about a wolf and a sheep, but it's not what you might expect. Instead of a scary chase, this story is about understanding, courage, and an unexpected friendship. So snuggle in, get cozy, and let's begin our tale, The Wolf Who Didn't Want to Hunt. In a quiet valley surrounded by tall hills, lived a young wolf named Win. Now, Win wasn't like the other wolves. While his brothers and sisters practiced sneaking through the forest and growling with deep, scary voices, Win liked to sit on rocks and watch the clouds float by. "I don't want to chase anyone," Win said one day. "I just want to be kind." The other wolves laughed. "A wolf must be fierce." So Win wandered away from the pack and headed into the valley, where he met a sheep named Lulu. Lulu was nibbling grass near a stream when she saw Win approach. Her eyes went wide, and she froze. But Win stopped and sat down gently. "Don't worry," he said. "I'm not here to scare you." Lulu blinked. "You're not?" Win shook his head. "I'm tired of being scary. I'd rather make a friend." Lulu tilted her head. "Well, I've never had a wolf friend before." They sat together, sharing stories and watching the butterflies drift by. Day after day, Win and Lulu met by the stream, laughing, playing, and learning about each other. The other animals were shocked. A wolf and a sheep playing together? But soon they saw something new. The valley felt safer. The wolves were curious. The sheep weren't so afraid. And all because one little wolf said, "I choose kindness." It's okay to be different, especially if it means choosing kindness over fear. And that, dreamers, was the wolf who didn't want to hunt. A story that reminds us that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to be kind. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss a new story from Nighty Night Stories. Until next time, sleep well, dream big, and always follow your heart.
Twyla the silk-winged moth fluttered softly under the silver moon. Her delicate wings, dusted with a gentle glow, shimmered like tiny stars. The meadow was quiet, filled with whispering grass and sleepy fireflies. Twyla loved the night, but she often hid behind leaves, too shy to share her light. What if no one notices me? She wondered, tucking her wings close. A warm breeze rustled the flowers, as if encouraging her. Somewhere in the distance, a cricket sang a lullaby, and Twyla felt the night wrap around her like a cozy blanket. Twyla the silk-winged moth fluttered softly under the silver moon. Her delicate wings, dusted with a gentle glow, shimmered like tiny stars. The meadow was quiet, filled with whispering grass and sleepy fireflies. Twyla loved the night, but she often hid behind leaves, too shy to share her light. What if no one notices me? She wondered, tucking her wings close. A warm breeze rustled the flowers, as if encouraging her. Somewhere in the distance, a cricket sang a lullaby, and Twyla felt the night wrap around her like a cozy blanket. As Twyla drifted past a drooping daisy, she spotted a small firefly sitting alone. His light flickered weakly. "Hello," Twyla whispered. "I'm Pip," the firefly sighed. "My light is fading, and I can't find my way home." Twyla's heart ached. She wanted to help, but hesitated. Her own glow felt so small. Then she remembered how the moonlight made her wings sparkle. "Maybe we can light the way together," she offered softly. Pip's face brightened. Twyla unfurled her wings, and their combined glow cast a warm golden path. Side by side, Twyla and Pip floated through the meadow. Twyla's glow, though faint, danced with Pip's flickering light, painting the air with soft radiance. The shadows seemed less scary now. "Your wings are beautiful," Pip said. Twyla blushed, her glow pulsing brighter. For the first time, she didn't feel the need to hide. The night flowers tilted toward them, as if thanking them for the light. A sleepy butterfly peeked from a blossom and smiled. Twyla realized kindness was making the night a little brighter just by being brave enough to share it. Further along, they heard a tiny sniffle. A ladybug, curled on a clover leaf, had lost her way. "I can't see in the dark," she admitted. Twyla fluttered down, her glow reflecting in the ladybug's teary eyes. "We'll help you," she said. Pip nodded, and together their lights guided the ladybug safely to her family under a nearby oak. The ladybug nuzzled Twyla's wing. "Thank you," she whispered. Twyla's heart swelled. Her light wasn't just for her, it was a gift she could give to others. As they passed an old willow tree, its branches sighed. "Little ones," it rumbled kindly, "your glow reminds me of the stars." Twyla shyly landed on a low branch. "We didn't mean to disturb you," she said. The willow chuckled. "You bring comfort to the night." Its leaves shimmered in appreciation, and Twyla felt a warm pride. Even the tallest trees noticed her small light. Pip nestled beside her, and for a moment the three sat in peaceful silence, bathed in the gentle glow of friendship. High above, a single star twinkled shyly, as if mirroring Twyla. "Look," Pip whispered. "That star is like you, quiet but bright." Twyla gazed up, her wings humming with happiness. The star seemed to twinkle brighter in response. "Maybe it's saying hello," she giggled. The night felt alive with connections to lights, acknowledging one another across the sky and earth. Twyla realized she was part of something much bigger, a tapestry of kindness and light woven by even the smallest acts of courage. Pip's light grew steady as they reached his firefly family. "You saved me," he said, hugging Twyla. She glowed warmly. "You helped me too." As Pip rejoined his friends, their collective lights pulsed like a heartbeat. Twyla watched, her wings tingling with joy. She had been afraid to shine, but now she knew a light was meant to be shared. The meadow seemed to sigh in contentment, the crickets humming a softer, sweeter song. Twyla fluttered toward home, her glow lingering in the air like a trail of stardust. Back in her cozy nook, Twyla curled beneath a moonflower. Her glow, once hidden, now felt like a treasure. She thought of Pip, the ladybug, and the willow's kind words. Outside, the fireflies' lights flickered like distant lanterns, and the stars still twinkled above. Twyla smiled. The night was full of quiet magic, and she was part of it. As her eyes drifted shut, her wings emitted one last soft pulse, a gentle promise. "Tomorrow, I'll shine again." Asterisk. The meadow whispered its approval, and Twyla slept, wrapped in the warmth of her own glowing heart.
Danny the Dinosaur's Big City Adventure. Once upon a time, deep in a warm, whispering jungle, filled with rustling leaves and buzzing bugs, lived a young dinosaur named Danny. Danny wasn't like the other dinosaurs. He was curious, brave, and a little bit lonely. You see, Danny's parents had gone missing when he was just a baby. All he had left was a tiny carved stone shaped like a lion, which his mother had worn on a string around her neck. One day, a parrot flew into the jungle shouting, "Humans took animals, put in big cages with lions in a place called London." Danny's eyes grew wide. "London, that must be where my parents are," he roared. So Danny did something no dinosaur had ever done before he left the jungle. London was noisy. Cars honked, people screamed, sirens wailed. Danny tried to walk calmly down the streets, but he was huge. People ran away, and someone even threw a sandwich at his head. "Excuse me," Danny said politely. "Do you know where I can find the lions?" But no one answered. Just as Danny was about to give up, he heard a small voice. "I know where the lions are." He looked down and saw a boy with messy brown hair and a red backpack. "I'm Michael," the boy said. "I think you're looking for the zoo." "The zoo?" Danny asked. Michael nodded. "Follow me, but maybe crouch down a little." Sneaking through London wasn't easy. Danny stepped on a scooter, slipped on a newspaper, and accidentally flattened a bus stop. Oops. But with Michael's help, he made it to the gates of the London Zoo just as the sun was setting. Michael led him around the back to the big cat area. And there, behind a tall steel fence, were two dinosaur soldiers, gentler and with eyes full of love. His parents. "Mama, Papa," Danny cried. The zookeepers hadn't realized they were dinosaurs at all. They had called them mystery reptiles and kept them in the lion section because of the stone necklace. "I have to get them out," Danny whispered. Michael hesitated. "That's dangerous. There are alarms and guards." "But I have to try." Michael thought for a moment. "Then let's do it together." That night, Michael distracted the guards with a soccer ball and a loud whistle, while Danny carefully peeled open the cage door. His parents stepped out slowly, cautiously, then nuzzled Danny with tears in their eyes. "Freedom." Michael hugged Danny goodbye. "You were brave," he said. "You were kinder," Danny replied. And with that, Danny and his parents crept away into the night, back toward the jungle. A year later, Michael was hiking with his family on a trip through the jungle. But he wandered a bit too far. Suddenly, a tiger leapt from the shadows. Michael screamed, but before the tiger could pounce, a huge, familiar shape blocked the way. Danny, now much bigger, with stronger legs and sharper teeth, Danny roared at the tiger, who fled into the trees. Michael's heart pounded. You saved me," he gasped. Danny lowered his head and smiled. "Friends look after each other." Then Danny gently carried Michael back to the jungle trail, where his worried parents waited. Tonight's story is about a very special unicorn named Uni, who dreams of something big, not just to shine or gallop through meadows, but to become a king. But not just any king, the king of kindness. If you've ever had a big dream or wondered what it really means to be a leader, this story is for you. So fluff up your pillows, snuggle into your blankets, take a deep breath, and get ready to journey into a magical land where hearts shine brighter than crowns. Uni, the unicorn who wanted to be king. Once upon a time, in a land of glimmering waterfalls and cotton candy clouds, lived a unicorn named Uni. He had a shimmering white coat, a golden horn, and hooves that sparkled like stardust. But Uni didn't want to chase rainbows or dance in moonlight like the other unicorns. He wanted to be king. Kings wear crowns and make important decisions, Uni said to himself one morning. They're strong, wise, and respected. That's what I want to be. So Uni trotted off to the crystal castle, where the wise old Queen Moonflower ruled. She listened kindly as Uni declared, "I want to be king." Queen Moonflower smiled. To be a true king, you must first show you can lead with kindness, courage, and care. Prove that to the land, and the crown may find you. Uni galloped away excitedly, ready to show the world what he could do. First, he helped a baby dragon stuck in a tree. Then he guided a herd of nervous bunnies across a river. And when a storm knocked over the homes of the chipmunks, Uni worked all night building them cozy nests from fallen leaves and twigs. Word of Uni's kindness spread quickly. Animals whispered, "Have you seen the unicorn who helps everyone?" Others said, "He doesn't just sparkle, he cares." One morning, as the sun rose over the hills, Queen Moonflower returned, wearing a silver cape. "You've done well, Uni," she said. "You've shown what true leadership looks like, not by demanding a crown, but by earning hearts." Then she placed a crown of woven vines, tiny jewels, and morning dew on his head. "You may not rule a kingdom of gold," she said, "but you are now the king of kindness." Uni didn't need a golden throne. He had something better, friends, respect, and a heart that glowed brighter than his horn. Tomi the truthful tiger. In the heart of the big green jungle, under a canopy of whispering trees and chirping birds, lived a little tiger cub named Tomi. Tomi had soft orange fur with bold black stripes, and his bright eyes sparkled with curiosity. He loved to play, explore, and, well, sometimes he told little fibs. One sunny morning, Tomi was playing near the river with his friends. Lila the leopard, Benny the bear, and Coco the parrot. "Let's have a race to the big rock," shouted Benny. "Ready, set, go!" squawked Coco, flapping high above. They all zoomed off Lila, leaping gracefully, Benny thundering forward, and Tomi sprinting with all his might. But Lila got there first. "I win!" Lila panted. Tomi huffed and puffed. No, I got here first. I just stopped to look at a butterfly. Lila frowned. Are you sure, Tommy? I didn't see you ahead of me. Tommy nodded quickly. Absolutely. His friends looked uncertain but said nothing. Later that day, they played hide and seek. Tommy was it. He counted to 20 with his paws over his eyes, but peeked through his claws when he thought no one was looking. Found you, Benny, he called, scaring Benny from behind a tree. How did you find me so fast? Benny asked. Lucky guess, Tommy said with a grin. But Coco, high in the branches, had seen Tommy peep. That's not fair, Tommy, she said. You were supposed to close your eyes. Tommy shrugged. I didn't peek, really. The next morning, something strange happened. Tommy woke up and noticed something shiny on the grass outside his den. It was a golden whistle for Jungle Games prize. Someone must have dropped it. Tommy picked it up, eyes wide. Wow! This is the prize for the fastest animal in the jungle. Just then, Coco flew down. Oh no! I dropped the golden whistle. It's for the winner of the Jungle Games tomorrow. Tommy paused. The whistle was beautiful. If he said it was his, he could keep it. No one saw him pick it up. It's mine, he started to say, but then stopped. He remembered how Lila had looked sad when he fibbed about the race, how Coco had been disappointed when he peeked. It hadn't felt nice inside. Now his tummy gave a little twist. Tommy looked at the whistle and then at Coco. Actually, he said quietly, I found it just now. It's yours. Coco's eyes lit up. Thank you, Tommy. I was so worried. That afternoon, Tommy told his friends the truth about the race and the hide-and-seek game too. I'm sorry I wasn't honest before, he said. It won't happen again. Lila gave him a nuzzle. That was very brave of you. Benny patted his back. We all make mistakes, but telling the truth makes things better. From that day on, Tommy became known as Tommy the Truthful Tiger. He still ran races, played games, and had fun, but he always told the truth, even when it was hard. And do you know what? The jungle felt a little kinder, a little warmer, and a lot more fun because everyone could trust their friend Tommy, the time-traveling teacup. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between green hills and sparkling rivers, lived a curious girl named Laura. Laura wasn't just curious, she loved stories, especially stories from history. She'd ask questions like, why did people wear armor? What did ancient cities look like? Did dinosaurs ever eat tacos? Okay, that last one was more silly than historic. One rainy afternoon, while exploring her grandmother's attic, Laura found something odd. A dusty, delicate teacup with golden swirls and a tiny clock painted on the side. She picked it up and zing! A flash of light, a whirl of colors, and whoosh was no longer in the attic. She was standing in the middle of a huge stone city with strange clothes on and the sun blazing above. Welcome to ancient Egypt, a cheerful boy said. He wore a tunic and a necklace with a scarab on it. I'm Kefi. Want to help build a pyramid? Laura's jaw dropped. She could see camels, tall stone blocks, and people drawing pictures on walls. For hours, well, 5 minutes, really, she helped mix mud bricks, learned about pharaohs, and even tried to write her name in hieroglyphs, those cool picture letters. Then she sipped from the teacup again, zing! Now she was in a noisy marble city with togas and chariots zooming by. Salve! Shouted a girl. I'm Lucia. Welcome to ancient Rome. Want to see the Colosseum? Laura blinked. She was actually watching gladiators train, tasting sweet honey cakes, and learning how Romans made their roads so straight. But when she mentioned pizza, everyone just looked confused. Another sip-sing. Suddenly, Laura stood beside tall wooden ships and people wearing funny hats with feathers. "Welcome to the age of exploration," a sailor cried. "We're sailing to discover new lands." Laura learned how sailors navigated with stars, what they ate, hard biscuits called hardtack ewe, and how important it was to treat people in new lands with kindness and respect. Finally, with one last sip-sing, she landed back in Grandma's attic. Her hair was wild, her feet dusty, and her heart bursting with stories. Grandma looked up from an old book and smiled. "Found my time, traveling teacup, didn't you?" Laura beamed. "Can I use it again?" Grandma winked. "History's always waiting."
Leo the Lighthouse and the Little Lost Star. On the edge of a rugged, rocky cliff where the land met the big blue sea stood Leo. Leo wasn't a person or an animal, he was a lighthouse. Tall and strong, painted in wide stripes of cheerful red and brilliant white, Leo had the most important job in the world. Every single night, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, Leo's job began. Whoosh! Sweep! His giant, powerful lamp would spring to life, sending a bright beam of light sweeping across the dark water, guiding ships safely away from the sharp rocks and into the calm harbor. Leo loved his job. He loved the salty smell of the air and the sound of the waves crashing below. But sometimes, especially on very quiet nights, he felt a little lonely. His only companions were the moon and the countless stars sprinkled across the sky like diamond dust. One night, the sky was clearer than ever. The Milky Way was a shimmering river of light, and Leo watched the stars twinkle and dance. He imagined they were playing games, like cosmic tag, chasing each other across the black velvet of space. As he was thinking this, he saw something peculiar. One tiny, brilliant star, right at the edge of the Milky Way, seemed to wobble. It flickered, then zipped downward, leaving a silvery streak behind it. It fell faster and faster, no longer a distant twinkle, but a falling spark. Plink! It landed softly on the grassy patch of land right at Leo's base. Leo couldn't move, of course, but he could aim his light. He carefully angled his powerful beam downwards until it illuminated a tiny, shimmering creature no bigger than a seashell. It was the star. It pulsed with a soft, silvery light, but it looked frightened and lost. Its light flickered weakly, like a candle in the wind. "Hello there," boomed Leo, his voice gentle but deep, like the rumble of a distant wave. The little star jumped, its light flaring in surprise. Who said that?" it whispered, its voice like the tinkling of tiny bells. "I did," said Leo, "up here. I'm Leo the Lighthouse. Are you all right? That was quite a fall." The little star looked up at the towering lighthouse. I think so," it chirped. "My name is Twink. I was playing hide and seek with my sisters, and I hid a little too far away. I slipped and, well, now I'm here, and I can't get back up." A tiny tear, like a drop of morning dew, rolled down its sparkly cheek. Its light dimmed even more. "Oh dear," said Leo, "that is a pickle. But don't you worry, little Twink, we'll think of something." For the next hour, Leo and Twink talked. Twink told Leo about life in the sky, about polishing stardust and riding on the tails of comets. Leo told Twink about the great ships he guided, from tiny fishing boats to giant cargo vessels. He told her how proud he was to keep them safe. "Your job is so important," Twink sighed. "Your light is so big and strong. It saves everyone. My light, it's just a little tiny twinkle. Up there, with all my brothers and sisters, I'm just one of millions. I don't think anyone would even notice I'm gone." Leo's warm light seemed to soften. "That's not true, little friend," he said kindly. "Every star has its place in the sky. Together, you make the night beautiful and help sailors navigate when they are far from shore. Your light matters very much." Just as Leo said this, a thick blanket of fog began to roll in from the sea. It was a sneaky, silent fog that swallowed the moonlight and the starlight and even made the sound of the waves seem muffled and distant. Leo felt a surge of worry. Fog was the most dangerous thing for ships. His powerful beam could cut through it, but it was much harder for the sailors to see. Whoosh! Sweep! His light cut a path through the misty air, but the fog was dense and swirled right back in. Soon he heard a faint sound. Toot! Toot! It was the lonely, worried horn of a small fishing boat lost in the thick fog. The captain was disoriented and couldn't find the entrance to the harbor. He was getting dangerously close to the jagged rocks known as the dragon's teeth. Leo shone his light as brightly as he could, sweeping it back and forth, but the boat was still struggling. Then Leo had an idea. It was a strange idea, a bit of a long shot, but it was their only hope. "Twink," he boomed, "I need your help." "My help?" squeaked the little star. "But what can I do? My light is so small." "Your light is different from mine, Twink," Leo explained. "Mine is a big, strong yellow light. Yours is a silvery, sparkly, magical light. Maybe together we can do something special. I need you to climb up to my lantern room. It's a long way, but there are stairs inside my base." Feeling a new sense of purpose, Twink found the small door at Leo's base and began the long climb up the winding spiral staircase. It took all her strength, but she finally reached the very top and popped out onto the walkway that circled Leo's giant lamp. "I'm here," she panted. "Wonderful," said Leo. "Now, when my light sweeps towards the boat, I want you to shine your light as brightly as you possibly can right into my beam." Twink took a deep breath. She thought about her family in the sky and the lost boat in the water. She puffed out her chest and shone with all her might. The next time Leo's aim swept out, something incredible happened. Twink's silvery sparkle merged with Leo's powerful yellow beam. The light was no longer just yellow. It was a brilliant, shimmering golden silver ray that glittered with the magic of a real star. This new sparkling light cut through the fog in a way Leo's beam never could alone. It didn't just push the fog away, it made it sparkle, lighting it up from the inside. Out on the water, the fisherman on the lost boat gasped. "What in the blazes is that?" he said to his first mate. "I've never seen a light like it. It's like a beam made of starlight." Following the magical, shimmering beam, the fisherman easily steered his boat away from the dragon's teeth and sailed straight into the safety of the harbor. From his great height, Leo saw the little boat tie up safely at the dock. He and Twink had done it. "We did it, Twink! You did it!" Leo cheered. Twink was practically vibrating with joy. Her light was brighter and steadier than ever before. "My light, my little light made a difference," she chirped. They spent the rest of the night together. 2 friends, one big and one small, watching over the sea. As the first hints of dawn appeared, the fog cleared and the stars above began to fade. "It's almost morning," Twink said sadly. "I still don't know how I'll get home." Just then, the first ray of sun peeked over the horizon. It touched the water, making it sparkle, and then it reached the top of the lighthouse. The golden sunbeam gently touched Twink, and she felt a warm, lifting sensation. The sunbeam was like a gentle elevator, slowly and carefully carrying her up, up, up into the pale blue morning sky, back to where she belonged. She looked down and twinkled a special, sparkly goodbye to her friend. Leo watched her go, not with sadness, but with a happy heart. He wasn't lonely anymore. He knew that every night, when he looked up at the sky, one of those stars would be his friend, Twink. And he had learned something very important that night, something he would never forget. The moral of the story is that every light, no matter how big or how small, has its own special way of shining. And when we share our light with others, we can be more brilliant than we ever imagined.
Danny and Mickey's Marvelous Mission. Once upon a time, in a cozy little hedgerow, nestled at the edge of a sunny meadow, lived 2 tiny mouse siblings named Danny and Mickey. Danny was clever and quick-thinking, with whiskers that twitched whenever she had an idea. Mickey was brave and full of energy, always ready to explore even if he didn't always think things through. One bright morning, the 2 mice peered out of their burrow and sniffed the warm breeze. "Today's the perfect day to visit the old oak tree," chirped Mickey. Danny's eyes lit up. "That's where the juiciest acorns fall. But it's a long way and we'll need a plan." Mickey giggled. "Let's just run and get there first." But Danny shook her head. "If we work together, we'll bring back more acorns for the whole family." So the pair set off, their tiny paws padding across mossy stones and fallen leaves. Mickey scouted ahead, leaping over twigs and racing around mushrooms. Danny followed behind, making a map in her mind and marking special spots like where they'd found berries last spring and where the ants liked to march. At last, they reached the towering old oak tree. Its wide branches stretched to the sky and its roots curled like sleeping snakes. "There," Mickey pointed excitedly. "Loads of acorns. Let's grab as many as we can." Mickey darted forward and tried to lift a big acorn, but it was heavy. He pulled and pushed, grunted and groaned, but it wouldn't budge. Danny chuckled and scampered to his side. "Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, heave," they shouted. With all their might, they rolled the acorn across the ground and into Danny's leaf bag. "See?" said Danny, smiling. "Much easier when we work as a team." Together, they gathered acorns, Danny choosing the best ones and Mickey using his strength to move them. When Mickey got stuck between 2 roots, Danny tickled his tail until he wriggled free. When Danny slipped on a mossy patch, Mickey caught her just in time. As the sun began to set, their bag was full and their hearts were happy. Back at the burrow, their family gasped in delight. "What a feast!" said Mum Mouse. "How did you 2 manage it?" Danny grinned. "We worked as a team." Mickey nodded proudly. "Together, we are unstoppable." From that day on, whether they were building nests, collecting food, or planning games, Danny and Mickey always remembered their marvelous mission at the old oak tree and the magic of teamwork.
Illa had hair like spun sunshine and eyes as green as moss. She lived in a cottage where the whisperwood began, a forest where leaves hummed and brooks giggled over stones. But Illa felt too small in a big world. "Mama," she'd sigh, "I wish I were tall enough to touch the clouds." One twilight, a voice like rustling silk called from the garden. "Little Illa, come see." Illa tiptoed outside. There sat Willow, a wind spirit with hair of dandelion fluff, floating just above the marigolds. "Why so small a sigh, child?" Willow whispered. "I'm little as a pebble," Illa said. "The world's too big for me." Willow laughed, a sound like chimes. "Small things hear big secrets. Follow me." Willow led her into the whisperwood. Fireflies lit their path like floating stars. "Shish." Willow breathed. "Kneel here." Illa pressed her ear to the damp earth. At first, silence. Then, tap tap tap. A beetle knitting socks for her babies. Flick flick. A frog's tongue catching dewdrops. Rustle rustle. Mice sharing a bedtime berry feast. "But I can't do anything important," Illa murmured. "Listen, listen," urged Willow. A tiny sob echoed near the roots of an oak. A baby ladybug was trapped under a curled leaf. Illa's small fingers wiggled gently, freeing it in a heartbeat. "Thank you," chirped the ladybug, wings glistening. Only little hands could fit. Illa walked home, the forest humming a lullaby just for her. That night, as Mama tucked her in, Illa whispered, "I heard the earth's heartbeat, Mama, and I helped a ladybug." Mama kissed her forehead. "The world needs big hearts in small packages, my Illa." Outside, Willow sang on the breeze. "Small is not a sigh. Small is how you touch the sky. Listen with your heart. That's where wonders start." And Illa fell asleep, knowing her size was her superpower.
Okay, here's a story for you. Barnaby the Brave Little Bear. Barnaby was a small, fluffy brown bear who lived in a cozy cave at the edge of the Whispering Woods. He loved 3 things very much: his mama, warm honey cakes, and playing hide-and-seek with his best friend, Rosie the rabbit. But Barnaby had a secret. He was a little bit scared of the darkly dark path. It was a twisty, shadowy part of the woods that led to the juiciest berry bushes. Rosie wasn't scared of it at all, and she always found the biggest, reddest berries there. One sunny morning, Mama Bear said, "Barnaby, dear, I'm making my special berry crumble today, but we're all out of berries. Could you be a brave little bear and fetch some from the bushes past the darkly dark path?" Barnaby's tummy did a little flip-flop. "The darkly dark path?" he mumbled, his ears drooping. Mama Bear knelt down. "I know it seems a bit spooky, but you're a brave bear, Barnaby, and Rosie can go with you." Rosie hopped up, her nose twitching. "Oh yes, it's not scary at all, Barnaby. It's just shady, and the berries are so yummy." Barnaby took a deep breath. He really wanted Mama's berry crumble, and he didn't want to disappoint her. "Okay," he said, trying to sound braver than he felt. "Let's go, Rosie." As they reached the entrance to the darkly dark path, the tall trees made long, wobbly shadows. A little hooty owl called out, "Hoo hoo," and Barnaby jumped. "It's just Hooty the Owl," Rosie giggled, hopping ahead. "Come on, Slowpoke." Barnaby took a tiny step, then another. The path was darker than he remembered. Every rustle in the leaves made him think of big, scary monsters. His heart went thump, thump, thump. "Rosie," he whispered, "are you sure there are no grumble snouts or shadow wobblers here?" Rosie hopped back to him. "Grumble snouts? Shadow wobblers? Barnaby, those are just silly names you made up. Look," she pointed. "See that wobbly shadow? It's just a funny-shaped branch waving in the wind." Barnaby looked. Rosie was right. It did look like a branch. "And that rustling?" Rosie said, pointing her nose. "Sniff. It's just a little field mouse looking for seeds." Barnaby sniffed too. He could smell the tiny mouse and a little bit of damp earth. not a grumble snout. They walked a little further. Barnaby started to notice things other than shadows. He saw a bright red ladybug on a green leaf. He saw a fuzzy caterpillar inching along a twig. He even heard a little stream gurgling nearby. "It's not so bad," Barnaby said, surprised. "See?" Rosie grinned. "Almost there." Soon, they popped out of the darkly dark path and into a sunny clearing filled with bushes bursting with juicy red berries. "Wow," Barnaby gasped. "These are the best berries ever." They filled their little baskets quickly, their paws getting sticky and purple. On the way back, the darkly dark path didn't seem nearly as dark. Barnaby noticed the pretty patterns the sunlight made through the leaves. He even waved to Hooty the owl. When they got back to the cozy cave, Mama Bear was delighted. "Oh, Barnaby, you found so many. You are a very brave little bear." That evening, as Barnaby munched on the most delicious berry crumble he had ever tasted, he smiled. The darkly dark path wasn't so scary after all, especially when you had a friend by your side, and when you looked for the good things instead of just the shadows. And from that day on, Barnaby wasn't quite so scared of the darkly dark path. He even thought it was a little bit adventurous.
Barnaby's buttons. In a cozy burrow tucked beneath the roots of a giant oak tree lived a small bear named Barnaby. Barnaby was a collector. He didn't collect stamps or shiny locks like some of the other forest creatures. Barnaby collected buttons. His burrow was a wonderland of buttons. He had big, brassy buttons from old sea captains' coats. He had tiny, pearly buttons from a doll's dress. He had a sparkly red button shaped like a ladybug, and a smooth wooden button that smelled faintly of pine needles. They were all sorted in little glass jars, lined up on shelves he had carved himself. Each button had a story, and Barnaby knew them all. But there was one empty spot on his most important shelf. It was for the one button he dreamed of more than any other, the moon button. He imagined it would be perfectly round, a milky white, and would glow with a soft, gentle light, just like the real moon on a clear night. One morning, Barnaby decided he couldn't wait any longer. Today was the day he would find the moon button. He packed a small bag with a honey sandwich and a flask of berry juice, put on his favorite waistcoat, which was missing a button, but he didn't mind, and set off into Whisperwood. His first stop was Professor Hoot's library in the highest branches of the oak tree. The old owl was wise and had seen many things. "A moon button, you say?" hooted the professor, adjusting his spectacles. A tricky thing to find. It is not something you can dig for, nor is it something that grows on a bush. Sometimes, Barnaby, the things we search for cannot be held in our paws, but only in our hearts. Barnaby thanked the professor, though he felt a bit confused. How could a button be in his heart? He wanted it on his shelf. He ambled down the path until he saw a flash of frantic energy. It was Squeaky the squirrel, burying acorns at lightning speed. "Squeaky," called Barnaby, "have you seen a special button? It's round and white and glows like the moon." Squeaky stopped, a nut in each cheek, making his face look puffy. "Buttons? Glows? Nope. No time for buttons, Barnaby. Winter is coming. Nuts, that's what's important. Can't eat a button." And with a flick of his bushy tail, he zipped up a pine tree and was gone. Barnaby sighed and continued on his way. He walked deeper into the woods, to a quiet glade where a stream trickled over mossy stones. There, shimmering in the morning sun, was the most beautiful web he had ever seen. In the center sat its creator, Willow the spider. "Good morning, Willow," said Barnaby politely. "Your web is as beautiful as ever." "Thank you, little bear," she whispered, her voice like the rustle of dry leaves. The morning dew has given me many jewels today." Barnaby saw that each thread of the web held a tiny, perfect drop of water, sparkling like a diamond. They were round and shiny, but they weren't the moon button. He told her about his quest. Willow listened patiently. "I have seen the moon, of course," she said softly. "It hangs its light on my web every night. But a moon button? No. My jewels are only here for the morning. They disappear when the sun gets too warm." Feeling a little discouraged, Barnaby thanked Willow and shared a piece of his honey sandwich with her. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Barnaby had one last idea. He would climb Lookout Hill, the highest point in Whisperwood. Maybe the moon button had fallen from the sky and was waiting for him at the very top. He scrambled up the hill, his little legs growing tired. When he finally reached the peak, he was out of breath. The whole of Whisperwood lay below him, bathed in the soft light of the rising moon. And there it was, the real moon. It was big and beautiful and perfectly round. It was milky white and glowed with a soft, gentle light. It was everything he had ever dreamed of. But he couldn't reach it. He couldn't take it home and put it on his shelf. A big tear rolled down Barnaby's furry cheek and splashed on his paw. His quest had failed. There was no moon button. Professor Hoot was right. He couldn't hold it in his paws. Just then, he heard a panting sound behind him. It was Squeaky the squirrel, holding something out. I felt bad," Squeaky puffed, out of breath from the climb. "You seemed so sad. This isn't a button, but it's my shiniest acorn. I saved it for last. It's for you." He placed a smooth, polished acorn in Barnaby's paw. It shone beautifully in the moonlight. A moment later, a leaf gently drifted down and landed beside him. On the leaf was Willow the spider. "We were worried," she whispered. "I cannot give you the moon, but I wove this for you." She had spun a tiny, intricate web inside a loop of vine, and in the very center was a single, perfect, unpopped dewdrop she had carefully preserved with her silk. It captured the moonlight and glittered like a tiny star. Suddenly, a soft hoot came from above. Professor Hoot landed silently on a nearby rock. He didn't say a word, but he nudged a small, perfectly smooth, round white stone toward Barnaby with his wing. It wasn't a button, but it was as white as moonlight and felt cool and calming to touch. Barnaby looked at the acorn. He looked at the dewdrop on the web. He looked at the smooth white stone. Then he looked at his friends, their faces full of concern and kindness. And in that moment, Barnaby understood. He looked at the reflection of the big, beautiful moon in the shiny acorn. He saw it sparkling in the tiny dewdrop. He saw its soft light on the surface of the white stone. He didn't need one single moon button. He had something much, much better. "Thank you," Barnaby said, his voice thick with happiness. "Thank you all." They all walked back down the hill together under the light of the silvery moon. When Barnaby got home, he didn't put the acorn, the web, or the stone in the empty spot on his button shelf. Instead, he cleared a new special shelf right in the center of his burrow. He placed the shiny acorn, the sparkling web, and the smooth white stone right in the middle. He called it his friendship collection. He still loved his buttons, of course, but as he sat with a mug of warm milk, looking at the gifts from his friends, he knew that this new collection was the most precious of all. It was full of kindness, full of adventure, and it glowed with a light much warmer than the moon.
Lila sat by her window, her soft blanket wrapped around her like a cloud. Outside, the sky turned lavender as the sun dipped below the hills. Fireflies blinked lazily in the garden, and the air smelled of warm cookies from the kitchen. She yawned, but her eyes sparkled with curiosity. What if the world has secrets just for bedtime? She wondered, tracing the stars with her finger. A gentle breeze rustled the curtains, as if inviting her to listen. Lila tiptoed outside, her bare feet brushing the cool grass. Ahead stood an ancient willow tree, its long leaves swaying like silver hair. "Hello, little one," the tree seemed to sigh. Lila gasped. "You can talk." The willow chuckled softly. "Only if you listen very, very closely." She pressed her palm to its trunk and felt a faint, warm hum like a lullaby from the earth itself. Under the willow's branches, tiny lights flickered to life. Fireflies gathered around Lila, humming in harmony. Their glow pulsed like tiny heartbeats, casting golden shadows on the grass. "They're singing for you," the willow whispered. Lila giggled as one landed on her nose. "It tickles." The fireflies danced in slow circles, their light weaving a dreamy melody that made her eyelids feel heavy. Nearby, a brook gurgled over smooth pebbles. Lila knelt beside it, dipping her fingers into the water. "Sing with me," the brook bubbled. She hummed along, and the water echoed her tune, swirling in little whirlpools. A family of ducks drifted by, their feathers ruffled like fluffy pillows. "Time to rest," they quacked softly, paddling toward their nest. Lila smiled. Even the water knew it was bedtime. Lila lay back in the grass, gazing up. The stars twinkled like scattered sugar, and the Milky Way stretched like a silky scarf across the sky. "That one's yours," the willow said, pointing to a bright star. Lila reached up, imagining she could tuck it into her pocket. The star winked at her, and she snuggled deeper into the grass, wrapped in the night's gentle glow. The moon, round and creamy as fresh milk, peeked through the leaves. "Climb into my light," it seemed to say. Lila felt herself floating, cradled in a beam of moonlight. It rocked her softly, like a hammock swaying in the breeze. She sighed, her curls tickling her cheeks. The willow's leaves brushed her forehead, whispering, "Sleep now, little dreamer." Lila's eyes fluttered as the willow's roots curled around her like a cozy nest. "Time to go back," it murmured. The fireflies lit her path, guiding her to her bedroom window. She climbed inside, her toes sinking into the fluffy rug. The curtains billowed gently, as if waving goodnight. Lila nestled under her blankets, still smelling of grass and starlight. As Lila drifted to sleep, the willow's whisper curled into her dreams. "Magic is always here," it said, "in the quiet, in the dark, in the spaces between breaths." Outside, the fireflies dimmed, the brook hushed, and the stars kept watch. Lila smiled, her heart full of nighttime secrets. And so, wrapped in the softest silence, she slipped into dreams of whispering trees and singing streams, where every night was a gentle adventure, just for her.
As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in soft purples and golds, a small turtle named Dusk awoke. His shell shimmered with the colors of twilight, each scale glowing like a tiny star. Dusk stretched his legs and blinked his sleepy eyes. "Time to explore," he whispered. The world around him was quiet, the air warm and sweet, with the scent of blooming evening flowers. Dusk took a deep breath, ready to begin his slow, steady adventure. Dusk ambled through a meadow where fireflies danced like floating lanterns. Their gentle light flickered around him, casting soft shadows on the grass. A little rabbit hopped over, curious. "Why do you move so slowly?" it asked. Dusk smiled. "Because when I go slow, I see more wonders." The rabbit tilted its head, then settled beside Dusk to watch the fireflies glow. Together, they counted the lights until the rabbit yawned and curled up in the clover. Next, Dusk reached a brook where the water giggled over smooth stones. He dipped his toes in, feeling the cool ripples. A tiny fish swam up, its scales silver in the moonlight. "Where are you going in such a hurry?" Dusk asked. The fish blinked. "Nowhere special," it admitted. Dusk nodded. Sometimes staying is just as nice. The fish twirled in the water, and Dusk sat a while, listening to the brook's lullaby. Under a great oak tree, Dusk found an owl perched on a low branch. "Would you like a story?" the owl asked. Dusk settled into the roots, his shell glowing softly. The owl told tales of stars that twinkled like turtle shells and winds that carried secrets. Dusk's eyes grew heavy, but he listened until the owl's voice blended with the rustling leaves. "Stories are best enjoyed slowly," the owl murmured as Dusk nodded in agreement. Dusk climbed a small hill where the sky stretched wide above him. Stars began to peek out, one by one. A moth fluttered down, landing on his shell. "Your home is as pretty as the night," it said. Dusk chuckled. "It changes with the sky." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the constellations wake. The moth's wings gleamed in the starlight, and Dusk felt the peace of the moment settle deep in his heart. On his way back, Dusk met a snail tracing a shiny trail along a leaf. "Hello, friend," Dusk said. The snail grinned. "I thought I was the only one who liked to take my time." They moved side by side, sharing stories of dewdrops and dawn. The snail's shell was pale blue, like the first light of morning, and Dusk admired how different and lovely every slow journey could be. Dusk arrived at his favorite pond, where lily pads floated like green boats. Frogs hummed an evening song, and the water mirrored the stars above. He slipped into the shallows, his shell blending with the reflections. Today was perfect, he sighed. A dragonfly skimmed the surface, leaving tiny ripples. Dusk watched them spread, each circle glowing with moonlight, until the pond became a dreamy, shimmering whirl. As the night deepened, Dusk nestled into the soft mud by the pond's edge. His shell dimmed to a gentle glow, like embers in a cozy hearth. "The world is full of wonders," he murmured, "when you take time to see them." The fireflies returned, dotting the darkness like sleepy stars. Dusk's eyes fluttered closed, his breath slow and steady, and as the moon smiled down, he drifted into dreams where every step was sweet, and every moment was meant to be savored.
On a velvety blue night, a tiny star named Luma gazed down at Earth. Though she shone softly, she longed to twinkle brightly like the others. "Why can't I sparkle as they do?" she whispered. The older stars hummed a gentle tune, but Luma still felt small. Below, a sleepy village nestled under blankets of mist, unaware of her quiet wish. The moon smiled down, casting silver light over rooftops, as if to say, "Patience, little one." The moon, round and wise, noticed Luma's sigh. "Little star," she murmured, "your light is perfect as it is." Luma flickered doubtfully. "But how can I shine brighter?" The moon chuckled, her glow rippling like water. "Brightness isn't just about light, it's about heart. Watch and wait." Luma nestled into the sky, curious. Far below, a child peeked through a window, pointing at her. "Look, Mama. That star is smiling at me." The child, named Eli, pressed his nose to the glass. "That star looks lonely," he said. His mother tucked him in. "Maybe it's waiting for you to wish upon it." Eli closed his eyes and whispered, "I wish you'd twinkle for me." Up above, Luma heard him. Her glow warmed, not brighter, but warmer. She realized, being seen was its own kind of magic. The wind carried Eli's sleepy breath, and Luma pulsed softly, like a heartbeat in the dark. Luma noticed something new. When she stopped worrying, she could hear the world's quiet songs, the rustle of leaves, the hum of night creatures. An owl hooted, and Luma twinkled back. "You're learning," the moon whispered. Luma wondered, maybe twinkling isn't about shining more, but about seeing more. She watched Eli drift to sleep, his stuffed bunny clutched tight. For the first time, she felt her light was enough. As Eli dreamed, Luma cast a tiny beam through his window. It danced over his blanket, painting silver freckles on his cheeks. Outside, fireflies blinked in reply. Luma giggled, a sound like wind chimes. The other stars leaned closer. "You're glowing differently," one said. Luma nodded. "I think I found my twinkle." It wasn't in the sky, but in the quiet connection between her and the world below. The older stars twinkled proudly. "Every star has a purpose," they chimed. "Yours is to be gentle." Luma understood now. She didn't need to outshine anyone, her kindness was her light. Eli stirred, murmuring, "Good night, star." Luma pulsed warmly, wrapping him in a soft glow. The moon hummed a lullaby, and the sky swayed like a cradle. As dawn approached, Luma didn't fade, she glowed with quiet joy. "Will you come back tomorrow?" Eli had asked earlier. "Now," she whispered back, "always." The first birds began to sing, and Luma dimmed her light, but her warmth remained. The other stars winked. "You've always been bright," they said. "You just needed to believe it." The sky turned pink as Luma drifted into daylight. Eli woke, finding a single silver star sticker on his window, left by Luma as a promise. That night, and every night after, she returned, twinkling not the loudest, but the kindest. And as children everywhere wished upon her, Luma learned, the best light is the one that helps others find their way to dreams.
Find your favorite spot in your bed and pull your blanket up to your chin.
That's right. Get all snuggled in. Close your eyes and let your body feel heavy and relaxed. We have a story for you tonight.
It's a story about a magical place called the Whispering Woods and two little friends who learned a very big secret. Are you ready to listen?
Deep in the Whispering Woods lived a little squirrel named Squeaky. Squeaky was a wonderful friend, but he had a problem. All the other squirrels were experts at cracking the big, tough acorns. Crack, pop, they'd go.
But when Squeaky tried, his acorn would just slip and roll away. He'd tap it and push it, but it just wouldn't open. He sighed a little squirrel sigh. "I'm just no good at it," he mumbled to a passing ladybug.
Not far away, in a tall oak tree, lived a little bird named Pip. Pip had beautiful sky blue feathers, but she was afraid of flying high. While her brothers and sisters soared up towards the fluffy white clouds, Pip would stay on the lower branches, her little heart beating fast.
"I wish I were brave like them," she would chirp softly to herself, watching them become tiny specks in the sky. One afternoon, Squeaky was sadly rolling an acorn down a hill when he saw Pip sitting on a low mushroom, looking gloomy.
"What's wrong, Pip?" asked Squeaky.
Pip looked at his unopened acorn and said, "The same thing that's wrong with you, I suppose. I can't fly high, and you can't crack acorns. We're just not very good at being a bird and a squirrel." Just then, a wise old owl named Professor Hoot landed silently beside them. He had heard everything.
"My dear children," he hooted gently, "you are looking at what you can't do instead of what you can."
Squeaky and Pip looked confused. "What do you mean?" asked Squeaky. Professor Hoot smiled. "Squeaky, while you may not be a great nutcracker, have you ever noticed that you are the best finder in the whole forest? You always find the juiciest, sweetest berries that nobody else can." Squeaky thought about it. It was true. He knew where all the secret berry patches were hidden. His nose was the best berry finder in the woods.
Professor Hoot then turned to Pip. "And Pip, while you may not like flying high, have you ever noticed what happens when you sing your little song?"
Pip shook her head.
"When you sing," said the owl, "all the baby animals stop crying, and the grumpy badgers even start to smile. Your voice is like a warm, cozy hug."
The very next day, a little rabbit got lost in the woods. He was scared and crying. The bigger animals couldn't find him. Professor Hoot looked at Squeaky. Squeaky knew just what to do. He didn't need to crack nuts for this job. He used his amazing nose to follow the faintest scent of wild strawberries, which the little rabbit had been eating.
He found the little rabbit hiding under a big fern, shivering with fright. But the rabbit was too scared to come out. That's when Pip, sitting on a low branch nearby, remembered the owl's words. She took a deep breath and began to sing.
She sang the sweetest, most gentle melody. It flowed through the air like a soft feather. The little rabbit stopped shivering. He poked his nose out, then his ears, and slowly hopped towards the beautiful, calming sound.
Together, Squeaky had found the lost rabbit and Pip had calmed him so he could be brought safely home. The whole forest cheered for them. They weren't just a squirrel who couldn't crack nuts or a bird who couldn't fly high.
Squeaky was the best finder in the woods, and Pip was the most calming singer. They learned that everyone has their own special, wonderful talent. And that is the moral of our story. You don't have to be good at the same thing as everyone else to be important.
That's right. What makes you unique is what makes you special. And now it's time for you to drift off to sleep. Keep your eyes closed and feel the warmth of your bed.
Think about your own special talents. Maybe you are a wonderful artist or a super fast runner, or maybe you give the best hugs in the whole wide world.
Let those happy thoughts fill your mind as you float away into dreamland. May your dreams be full of adventure and sweet songs.
Sleep well, little one.
Good night.